Assalamu alaikum students. We are doing chapter number 13 congruence, and today we will be doing question number 1 from exercise 13.1 which is regarding measurement of angles. Before we move on to that topic, I want you to understand first a protector. Why a protector? Because I often find that students are confused regarding protector for measurement of angles or for drawing purpose. So if you look at the figure, you will find out that a protector has four major parts, which is origin, baseline, outer scale and inner scale. Uh, you will find that origin is over here. The baseline is this line from here to here. This is the inner scale and this is the outer scale. Now, while drawing an angle or measuring an angle, the very first point you have to keep in mind is that this point over here, the origin, it must coincide with the vertex of the angle. And if your angle is having an arm on the right side, then you have to use this inner scale. And if your angle is having an arm on the left side, then you have to use this outer scale. These two things I usually find confusion is regarding the scale, whether to use inner scale or the outer scale. So do keep in mind, if your arm is on this side, then this is your nearmost scale, this is what you are going to use. And if your arm is on this side, then this is what you are going to use, this scale you will utilize for it. And always coincide the origin with the vertex of the angle and keep your arm in the baseline. So this is all about protector. Now let's move on to our exercise 13.1. It says measure the angles and say which of the following angles are congruent. So the first thing we have to do is we have to measure the angles. So obviously to measure the angles we are going to use a protector. Once we find a measure of all the angles, then those two angles which are of exact same measure will be said to be congruent to each other. So now how to measure the angle? Keep this in mind. The origin of the protector should coincide with the vertex of the angle. The baseline should coincide with the arm of the angle, and if your arm is on the right side, then you will choose the inner scale. If your arm is on the left side, then you will choose the outer scale. So let's move on to it. Okay, so you can see that I have used my protector here to measure my angle, and you can see that this point over here, the origin, they are coinciding, and the arm of the angle is exactly coinciding with the baseline. Now, and this nearby scale is this scale. This inner scale is my nearby scale. So now moving on to this, I will see where the other arm is, and that will give me the degree measure of the angle. So this is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 45. So this angle over here, it is 45 degrees. So now moving on to the other angle. Okay, so in this angle you can see that again I am following the same rule. The center point, which is the origin, is coinciding with the vertex of the angle. The baseline over here is exactly over the arm, and this will be my this inner scale will be my considering scale. So if I go on, then 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. The other arm is located at 90. That means the degree measure of this angle is 90 degrees. Now let's move on to other angle. Okay, again the same rule. You can find out that the origin and the vertex of the angle are exactly coinciding. One of the arms is exactly coinciding with the base of the protector, and since our arm is on this side, this will be the nearby scale, the inner scale, and I will measure this as 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. You will find out the other arm which is over here is exactly coinciding with 120. That means its degree measure is 120 degrees. Now let's move on to other angle. Now in this angle, again the same rules. You will find out that the origin and the vertex of the angle are coinciding each other. The baseline is exactly coinciding with the arm of the angle. Now let's find out where the other arm is. It is 10, 20, 30, 40, and you will find out this is here 45. In between 40 and 50 there will be 45. So this has a degree measure of 45 degrees. Now you find out that this A part and this D part, they exactly have the same degree measure. So this over here has a degree measure of 45 degrees, and this over here has a degree measure of 45 degrees. That means both of these angles, that is this in A part and in this in D part, they have the same degree measure, and two angles with the same degree measure are said to be congruent to each other. That means A part and D part, they are congruent to each other. Hopefully you understood this. Thank you.